based on where we are now, and seek to make that concerted effort, drive, representation to bring about this desired level of development, especially as it relates to bringing relief to the people of Newtown and Citronia from a housing standpoint, housing recreational standpoint.
Earlier on, you alluded to that particular area behind the rural, the historical rural house, It's quite a flat area, Oliver. And the roads are already there.
Yes, they are.
And it doesn't have to take any kind of engineering feat. And, the cost aspect has already been reduced by the availability of that kind of road, and I believe that, we ought to take those particular factors into consideration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to do that. And again, as I mentioned, going back to the question of getting people to understand that is not anything far-fetched. These are things that can be accomplished and again in a relative short space of time. And when we speak of monies, one may want to say, well, boy, look, it doesn't matter whether it can be done in a week, 2 weeks. The greatest components or concern is how do we finance it, the funding. And again, given the survey and what was done a few years ago, as I indicated, with the involvement of technical people from the Ministry, Public Works, myself, etc., from what we came up with, I do not want to quote a figure and for me to be misquoted to be fair, but again, using experience in terms of the road network, and I'm not talking here now of the secondary roads for the housing infrastructure, but the road network which would then facilitate this entire exercise, I do not see anything in excess of $500,000.
Oliver, we went very close to Reggit. It's mind-boggling, I never thought that, just going into the interior of Gwenville, I was almost, at the doorsteps of Reggit.
You were, not almost. You were right there.
It's mind-boggling.
From where we stopped, to get into Reggit, and I want to be very specific for people who would get an opportunity to see this footage that we're doing now, and who will probably join us in our discuss when we have this forum. We would exit if we were to have continued insofar, bearing in mind we're looking at a road structure. We would have exited just about 100 yards east of the existing water tank.
Jesus, right.
In Kingsville, which is supplying the Kingsville area, the upper Kingsville area with water. So that would give the Kingsville people and other persons who are familiar with the Kingsville Reggit area, what is it we're talking about in terms of close proximity and the kind of linkages, the possibility of good linkages that exist insofar as the whole interaction. And I really, you made a point earlier, and I really want to just go over that again. The whole question of the tourism component.
Yes.
Currently, when the cruise ships come to Dominica, I know of established tours which goes to Girardel, all right, and comes through Eggleston and then get back into town.
Yeah.
You look at tourism development, which is now probably the second biggest contributor to our national development from a foreign exchange standpoint.
Yeah.
And we're talking about creating more and more facilities and tours for the tourists to enjoy. Let me tell you something. The potential for what I term in the tourist language, a scenic tour. You would leave the cruise ship, go to Girardel, come to Eggleston as is being done now.
Yes.
The difference would be you would now come through Fort Ney into this forested and new development area, go into Reggit.
Yeah, through this road there.
That road, you exit on the Reggit road as I've indicated earlier, and you continue on what is already an established part of the tourist tour at the Monbrose Lookout, where you look at the city of Roseau, etc., etc. So you'll be adding this new component to that tour. And again, it will create more interest for the tourists, and it will help now the residents, the would-be residents of that area, to even benefit now from that kind of exercise. The potential, again, we're talking about food safety, because I think you need to look at development from a holistic standpoint.
Correct.
This Gwenville estate is very, very, very fertile. And once the housing development will be properly structured, I can see people having their own backyard gardens get into the natural foods, the natural things that they want to grow what you eat what you grow. Healthy food. So you'll be looking at food security, looking at healthy lifestyle. So when we talk about the development of Gwenville,
yeah,
we do not want people to figure, oh, we're just looking for another place to put two houses. No, 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 no. We're looking at the holistic development of Dominica, our people, and more so the emphasis on our Newtown Roses of constituency people.
Oliver, we dealt with the ragged end. I'd like you to give, listeners and viewers the Fortney component of that linkage.
Okay, that too is almost similar insofar as the linkage with ragged is concerned. Because again, we walked this southeastern section of the area, and we practically got to the boundary, the periphery,
correct,
of Fortney.
Yeah.
And again, having walked it for the purposes of doing a road development coming from Fortney, there again the question of this important linkage. We're talking about safety. We're talking about all these
similar arguments.
So, and again, the benefits that are to be derived from that kind of development, I can only continue to say, but it will be tremendous.
Let us look at that facility, within the next couple of years, 2 years, 3 years down the line. What do you think that will do to the psyche of the Harlem people?
Boy, let's put it that way. I do not want to say it's difficult to envisage that, but I want to be a bit cautious because again, what we are doing now, there's no guarantee that even if we were to sell it, for want of a better expression, to the residents, our community, ourselves, and make them see the benefits, the interest, that in itself cannot get the powers that be to move and do what is required to be done.
What do you think will get them then?
A movement of the people. But we need to do just what we're doing now,
yes,
and use that to inform and educate. And hopefully, out of that, you will get this movement of the people to say to our parliamentary representative, to the government that whichever government it may be,
yes,
that there is this need and we want to have it now. The time has come for us to get that development.
Because if we were to conduct a survey of Harlemites, the overwhelming majority of the people will say, yes, we need that particular facility. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so in that context, I would then answer your question by saying the enthusiasm, it should just be overwhelming, and again, the economic benefits, the social benefits to the people, I'm not even sure if I can quantify it in terms of telling you what it would mean 2-3 years down the line.
Well, Oliver, you lined in Gwenville, as a little boy, you would have an idea as to the tremendous, stock of fruits that exists in that particular area. You're a coward boy there.
Oh yes. I mean, again, we can say the Gwenville estate was like our Eden, insofar as fruits were concerned, and the fruits brought about the whole question of the socialization, the camaraderie which existed in those days. I mean, I cannot, for the life of me, think of anybody now, whether the person may be 100, who is a true Harlemite resident, who doesn't have some history or some part of their life this was not spent, or they cannot identify with the Gwenville area. So again, in that context, I'm saying if we were to do what we are asking for now to be done, that would only speak volumes for us as a people of the Roses of constituency, from a developmental standpoint, and Dominica by extension. Because I would like to see us continue, and I'm saying continue, to set the pace, because Roses South has been known to be setting the pace in several areas in terms of the level of professionals we have given to this country in every discipline, every field of professionals you can create. Roses South, I'm sure, without fear of contradiction, from Dominica's geographic standpoint, would have produced more professionals than anywhere else in this country.
Correct.
And I say that with no apologies.
Yes.
So I'm saying here now again, if we were to come with this kind of development, it would then probably encourage all the communities in this country to stop, look at the environment and surroundings, and see what is it that they now can do to bring the kind of development that is required.
Well, okay, thank you very much, Mr. St. John and Maggie. This is just part one of the exercise, which shall continue in due course.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. I just say with what we have behind us, right within our grasp, why should the people on them be suffering by the bayside of be at risk of disaster and all this thing. Every year in, year out.
Yeah.
And we have this, you know what I mean? We need to do something. We need to do something now.
Okay, so this is, part of a tremendous resource in the Roses of constituency. And I do believe I share the views expressed by Mr. Peters, Maggie, and Mr. St. John, that, something needs to be done. Because since in my infancy, I've been hearing about the Charlotte Valley development, the GWENVILLE estate, what is to be done. And I believe it is high time. I could remember as way back as 1985, I think when the Freedom Party was having a rally on the NEWTOWN Savannah, I think the then Prime Minister, Dame Eugenia Charles, of blessed memory, was on What About? And I called her, the first time actually called in the program, and I, asked her about what plans the Freedom Party government had for the Charlotte Valley development. And she said, definitely, this is on the front burner. And we have heard every government since, made reference to their intention to develop that particular facility. And I believe it's high time now that, the powers that be, whoever is in power, would, make a very concerted effort to meet the demands and the needs of the people, because NEWTOWN is congested, the housing stock is deteriorating, and we need to reinstall a sense of community pride within the entire Harlem community to see how best we can develop our particular area. We consider the Harlem community to be the treasure of Dominica. Tremendous potential that exists in that particular community, and it's time we move just beyond the potential into actual work.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We can get that set up.